There are two things every single trader out there is scared of. One is marginal call. You know, that one where your account is finally gone, like it is depleted and they can no longer keep your funds running. That is simply due to terrible risk management and probably loss of emotion or whatever the reason you call it, but it is basically terrible risk management. The second one is the one we experience the most in trading. In fact, every trader experiences this. No matter how good you are, no matter how perfect you are, you must experience this. And that is the simple thing called stop loss. You definitely saw it on my thumbnail. Stop loss. This is one of the most painful things to ever experience, especially when you do everything, every single thing according to your strategy, and yet at the end of the day, stop loss. I placed a trade some days ago and I woke up and I saw stop loss. I was like, ouch, ouch, ouch. I literally wanted to double down on trade. Right now, the thing is, I want to share my personal experience on this channel. Like I said, this channel is a basic documentary of everything. If you've ever actually hit stop loss and it was so painful, you could drop a comment, tell me how painful it is, how you dealt with it. Because man, when I got the one yesterday, I've been getting stop loss before, but now that I'm taking it very serious, yesterday's one felt differently. It was a demo account, but it felt differently. Like there was this first of all, there was this first wave of denial that no, it's not possible. I couldn't have hit stop loss. I think they were default. Obviously, they were default. I had to check. And then when you check and you see something really happened, right? The stop loss got perfectly kissed, like probably even whipped beyond. And then the next thing that comes to your mind is, okay, maybe they are in default. Just maybe they are in default. But man, the market is just wicked. That's the second phase. You're denying. You're still denying, but your denial has shifted from blaming your broker to blaming your market. You're blaming the entire market for your stop loss. And then after that, the next thing that comes is, okay, I think I should take a look at this thing again and see why I hit stop loss. And you are not seeing the reason why you hit stop loss. You can't find a reason, a good enough backing. Even if you are saying backings, you're going to feel it's not good enough. That is the third phase. Now, after that point comes acceptance. You get to finally say, okay, I hate stop loss. I personally hate stop loss. Now you know that you're actually going to start seeing clearly. I went through all of this whole euphoria throughout yesterday. I was supposed to make a video yesterday about the trade I took in my last video. That trade ended up terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, so terrible. I slept, woke up, and I just saw it. I was like, geez, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I was afraid to make videos. Matter of fact, I even considered, should I just delete the channel anyway so people don't actually see my shame. Then I remembered myself. I remembered there's a video I released, and I remembered exactly what I said there. This channel is going to be either a show of profitability, or it's going to show how unprofitable you can become in this market. And hey, I am here to tell you guys, there is profit and there was loss. And there was a loss. Bad one for that matter. Today, I am going to reduce the talk time a lot. I am going to do everything I can to reduce the talk time and increase the knowledge spreading. Yesterday, the last video basically, there was a very vast amount of knowledge somewhere within the center of the video. Go watch it and you see that knowledge is very important. If you're new to this channel, you might want to hit subscribe, because you're definitely going to see this whole journey go from either being good or to being bad. You're just going to see the whole journey. So do hit the subscribe button and join the community. But for now, let's head into today's business. So for today's business, I am going to start with this particular thing right here. There are 4 targets to be met: the Euro AUD failure, the AUD Swiss Franc foolishness, the current trades, and my trade journaling. Right here you can see stop loss, perfect stop loss kissed. That was Euro AUD. analyzed this market on my last trade and finally jumped into the market. And in less than 24 hours, almost 24 hours, I finally got taken away. Now the thing is, I did not even come back to look at this trade. That was the first thing. If I had come back to look at it, I would have seen this whole thing going well against me and would have cut out the trade already. So let's go straight into the trade. This is the trade. This is the trade I took last. On the last video though, this is not the last trade I took. This is the trade I took on the last video. It took my account below the 1%. Now, on the other day, I celebrated finally hitting the 1% of the demo account, the $10,000 account. And I saw this post from a popular Nigerian trader. I won't say his name, where he said, do not over celebrate your wins. I'm not really saying it word for word, but he said, do not over celebrate your wins so that you do not feel so pained about your loss. And after this whole thing happened, right, as of yesterday, I felt this is so true. But right now, I feel that's total BS. You should celebrate your wins. And you should also mourn your losses. Because you lost doesn't mean your win wasn't valuable. You won. You lost. You won and you lost. You are a human being. You can't have it all. You're either winning, you're either losing. But either way, you had it. The AUD failure was absolutely devastating for me. Like, this is one of the first failures that has ever really rocked my apple cart. Like, it really, really rocked my apple cart. I had so much confidence in this trade that I felt like, okay, what happened? What happened? What did I do wrong? And then I come in, I see I did nothing wrong. I did the exact thing I was supposed to do. But the market just didn't go my way. Simple. And here it is. I'm going to leave it at that. I will not even attempt to deceive myself anymore. I will just accept this is the fate. I'll document it. Then maybe some other day, just maybe someday, I might finally be able to find what I felt was missing. Maybe. Or what was missing, if there is something missing. Or maybe the trade just didn't work in my favor. And that was just it. It wasn't anybody's fault. We're heading straight into the next one. Like I said, today we're going to be quick and snappy so we do not burn time. The last video was so long, I felt like, man, this is going to be terrible. But regardless, today we're focused on getting the deal. The next thing is the AUD Swiss Franc foolishness. Why do I say AUD Swiss Franc foolishness? Let's switch straight into AUD Swiss Franc. AUD Swiss Franc foolishness is because I made a very, very foolish move because I was still feeling emotional from my stop loss that I got hit from Euro AUD. The emotions was still coming back. You know, when you open you place the trade, right? You place the trade. It was actually a pending order though. The AUD Swiss Franc was a pending order after the Euro AUD on my way to work. And when I opened my market, like I opened my phone to see what was going on, I saw the stop loss hit, but I saw the AUD itself was doing Swiss Franc doing something very stupid. It had gone close to my profit and started retracing back to my entry. I was like, this is so annoying. In fact, matter of fact, close the shit. That was what I just did. I got so pissed I just closed it off. I was pissed at my stop loss that I threw away a profit. Let me show you guys exactly what it was. I did every single thing I could do. I did every single thing I could do to be assured that this trade is actually a very accurate trade. This is where I came out of the trade, and this is where it is right now. If I had still been in the trade, aka I would have been double the amount of profit I had made yesterday when I cut off this trade. Well, this is what happened. So I saw this fair value gap going up and price dipped in and started respecting the fair value gap. My total fear is I just lost a formal trade. I would not lose this one. And then I cut it off. I just cut it off out of. It's FOMO. The FOMO that we can never completely deal with. We can never really get rid of completely, but you can always try to mitigate it. So I cut it off out of FOMO. And right now, when I came back to look at it, I felt, man, that was a stupid decision. That was a very stupid decision. But nevertheless, it's done. right? It is done and it is done. There's nothing else I can do about it. I just let it go. That has happened. Let's head into the next thing. The next thing on the list is current trades. So these are my current trades. So let's get the premises behind the current trade. The premises behind the current trade is this. I think I would let this one slide for now. The premises behind the current trade is this. My monthly expectation is bullish due to the current printing candle as usual, and the weekly expectation was also bullish due to the current status of the printing candles as of that day. On the daily, what did I notice? So on the weekly, I noticed this fair value gap, and we're aiming to come towards this point probably. But also because the fair value gap is still here, my premises is this. My understanding is that if price doesn't make it all the way here and starts to perform a downfall, then we're likely going to start heading for this low. Likely. I've found my imbalance. This is a clear imbalance. Not really clear imbalance, but it's an imbalance. So I walked into the 4 hours. I did not even care about the daily. Normally I'm supposed to come into the daily and see what's being respected. Are lows respected or are highs respected? I didn't even care. I just went straight into the 4 hours. And on the 4 hours, now you might be wondering why this trade is really, really risky. On the 4 hours, there is this fair value gap in, fair value gap out that's supposed to follow through. But what is it going to follow through to? If you look at this point, there is no fair value gap to really retrace to apart from this, right? This is the fair value gap here. Go to those 4 hours. You can see that is perfect dainty made. It did the up. Did the up and then came down back for liquidity. Right there, up down, came for liquidity. So now it's doing a very similar situation. Up down. This is obviously liquidity, right? Simple. That is it. That is exactly the premise around this whole thing. Same thing here. Let's go to this point. Weekly, you can see everything I'm actually aiming for is, you can see, is bullish. The monthly weekly is bullish. Sorry, I need to remove this guy. The monthly weekly are both bearish, but I'm seeing a weekly lot, right? Now there's, unlike the other one, this is a weekly fair value gap. I think I explained this in a video. I don't know if I did, but let me just explain it again. So there's a weekly fair value gap right here. On the monthly, the fair value gap is way up. There's a possibility of a fair value gap being printed at the end of the month between here and here, but I don't, it's not even mid-month, so I don't care. The weekly fair value gap is right here. The weekly fair value gap needs mitigation. First mitigation and probably second candle respect. So the first candle had mitigated, which was last week, and then this week now we're seeing the price go into that fair value gap. This was last week. You can see the first mitigation, and then this is this week. This is last week's mitigation, and now you can see this week's mitigation. This week we found the first in and out, which was the trade I lost money on, the last one, because I did not wait for a fair value gap in and a fair value gap out. But this time the fair value gap in and fair value gap out printed clearly, so I decided, it had gone down, but I decided, okay, let's follow this trade. Let's look and see if there really is an option here. I went into the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, I found order flows being properly respected. Now, when I entered this trade, remember my stop loss was way up here. My stop loss was way up here because I said, let's stay with the 4 hours premise and follow this trade. If it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. If it hits take profit, it hits takes profit. Following the 4 hours premise, I entered the trade. After my fair value gap has been completed, when I came in, it has completed and was going down. So rather than wait for it to return, let's enter this trade first, see where it goes. I expect this trade to come to this point and this point before it starts to retrace. It would most likely retrace and come back for this fair value gap. Oh, that was a mistake. And come back for this, most likely. But by then I should have cut off a lot partial, right? It should come off here, and when it comes down here, if and only if this is going to actually hold, which I believe it will, but I don't know, we don't know. If this is going to hold, then price will now finally start to come back for the daily, or it could just go straight to the daily. Two things involved, and those are the two premise my head is totally working on. Current trades done. I don't know how long this video has lasted. Let's check. 23 minutes. All right, that's all. We'll do the journaling in another video. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this kind of content and if you learned something from this. I made terrible mistakes, and it's all psychological mistakes actually, not even trading mistakes. They are all psychological mistakes, and they are all terrible mistakes to make as a trader. They would really ruin your finance. But nevertheless, if you do like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button, click a like on this video, and join the community. Yes, join this lovely community I'm building up here. But see you guys on the next one. The next one is going to be purely the journaling aspect. See you all on the next video. You would find it probably around here, probably on the downside here on the down left, or it could be at the top right. Thank you.